Well, let me finish, man, part 3 of our sermon series called Confessions. It's been amazing. It's the last installment, uh, and I've had a lot of fun. Have you guys enjoyed it? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we're going to end it with a title I'm calling "Speak My Language." Come on, say "Speak My Language." And to do this, I'm going to be looking at the song "Simple Things" that Darius did an amazing job singing today. Did an amazing job. But here's what I come to understand: it is absolutely possible to speak the same language and have a different interpretation. Okay, how about this? How about this? I can say that this iPad is hot, and some people heard two different things, depending on. I'll let you fill in the blank. Some thought hot to touch, and some thought dope or awesome or cool. But it's the same language, but just a different interpretation. And one of the things that I'm finding and I'm discovering in relationships is that language can become a major hiccup. And it's not necessarily what's being said, but it's how am I interpreting what you said. I'll say that again. It's not necessarily what's being said, it's how I interpret what is being said. Because let's just face it, all of us are really trying to communicate the same thing in our relationships. 3 major words: I love you. We're all trying to communicate it, but sometimes we're not successful in that communication. For some of us, it goes well. I'm trying to tell you I love you, and you, bam, you got it. And then there's other times where I'm trying to tell you I love you, and I think I'm showing you that I love you. In fact, we can have a conversation where I can be telling my boys, man, I love my wife, man. Like, oh my, man, I'm so head over heels for her. And she can be upstairs on the phone and say, I wish this dude loved me the way he's supposed to love me. I just feel like he don't love me. And that can be the same people in the same marriage. And the question or the thing is, like, love is not what's in question. It's the language. It's how we speak about it. It's how we receive it. That's the thing that's in question. So here's what I want to do. Usher said it this way. Look at this. He said, just cop your girl a brand new Rolex. Dang. But you can never find the time to spend at home, thinking that's going to keep her happy, when time, that's some good wordplay, boy, is all she wanted all along. Now, here's the deal, though. I guarantee you, when that dude brought that Rolex, he was like, he thought he loved her. When they said how much it's going to cost, he said, oh, I love her. I love her. No, I love her. I love her so much that I'm willing to go buy a brand new Rolex to communicate my love for her. And in this song, this girl's saying, if he spend another second out this house, he is communicating to me how much he does not love me. Now, here's what's interesting to me. Love isn't the issue. It's the language. It's how we communicate it. In fact, here's what I want to say. Look at what Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse number 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse number 4. Many of you guys know this. Love is patient and kind. It's patient and what? Now, there's something called first mention. What first mention is whatever it is that you mention first is probably your most dominant thought about someone or something. That's first mention. So if I asked you, how do you like your job? And if you said, it's okay, I enjoy it. Translation, I'm actively looking somewhere else. and I'm using their Wi-Fi to do it. You said you enjoy it, but the thing you mentioned first is that it's okay. That's your most dominant thought. And so here's what happens. Apostle Paul mentions a bunch of stuff about love. I don't have time to go through all of it. But the first thing that he mentions is, man, love is patient. Now, what you have to understand and what you have to know, well, have you ever tried to speak a new language? If you've ever tried to speak a new language, it takes tons and tons and tons of an amount of patience and hard work and dedication. But most of all, it's going to take patience to speak a new language. And every time you get into a relationship with someone, whether it's a significant other, whether it's your children, whether it's your friendships, when you're in a relationship with them, what you're communicating to them silently is, I'm committed to being patient and understanding how to speak your language. If I'm going to be in relationship with you, I'm committed to understanding what it takes to speak your language. And that's going to take patience. Because here's the deal. Every relationship speaks a different language. What communicates love to one person is not what communicates love to someone else. Prime example, I can go get my son a pair of shoes and he can say, man, you love me. But to my spouse, I might have to be like, yo, I've seen you launch another business in the middle of a pandemic. What? Man, you are just incredible. You're amazing. I can't believe that you did that. Can I just take the time to celebrate you? But for your friends, they might be like, yo, keep your words. Show up for me. Yeah, I launched a business. Great that you are excited that I launched a business, but can you show up on opening day? Can you be there for me? And someone else might be like, yo, just take out the trash without me asking. And here's what's amazing about all of that. Depending on who you are, you heard chores or you heard love. Here's what's incredible. Let's have some fun. I got me a Gucci bag. Look, you know who loves that. Hey. Got me a Gucci bag, right? And here's what's incredible about this whole thing called love. That this bag, this Gucci bag, and these Glad bags communicate the same thing depending on who you are and what language you speak. Listen. For some people, this bag here communicates I love you. Some people are like, keep your Gucci bag. Take out the daggone trash. It depends on what language you speak. But both can communicate love. Now, some husbands, I just helped you out. These are a lot cheaper, bro. You get 40 of these in one box. As it relates to love, it's really all about language. Here's my first point. Having a language barrier doesn't mean we can't communicate. It just means I need to be patient and seek to understand. You got to understand that every time you get into a relationship, there's going to be the potential of a language barrier. Every single time. Very few people can learn a new language and become fluent in it quickly. Most people cannot do that. In fact, if you're learning a new language, most people need a tutor. someone who's already versed in this language to help you understand and be able to communicate. Why am I saying that? Because I think sometimes we get in these relationships, and as soon as we get in a relationship, here's what I hear being said all the time. He should just know what I like. I'm not that difficult. Says who? No, I'm serious. Like, shouldn't she just know what I want? That's the equivalent, Greg. If you've never spoken German, you're an American citizen, and you've never spoken German, ever, let alone heard it spoken, and I dropped you off in the middle of Germany and said, be my translator, and your response is, that's too difficult, and I responded, you should just know. We would never do that. There would be so much compassion, and there would be so much, I get it, this is new, this is foreign, this is a different language. So let's figure this out together. Yet when it comes to our relationships, there's no amount of patience and understanding as it relates to helping me communicate to you the language that I speak. Yeah, just say ouch. Because the reality is this. If you really want to be successful in your relationships, as much as you don't want to do it, you're going to have to help that person understand the language you speak. You're going to have to tutor them on how to speak your language. I don't want to do that. They should just know. Okay, well, be miserable. Matter of fact, Proverbs 14:29, this is Solomon, the wisest man to ever live. Look at what he says in Proverbs 14:29. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly. Here's what he says, whoever is slow to anger. Another one says, whoever is slow to anger has great patience. You have to understand that the only way patience or understanding will be developed is that it's going to happen through being patient. But here's the deal. Most of us like the fruit of patience, but don't like the process that brings it. Yeah. Pray for patience and see how your life changes. So in our relationships, it's going to take patience, but we don't often like the process that brings the fruit of patience. We don't like the process of, you will not clean your toothpaste out this sink. Why don't you close the cabinet drawers? Someone said, ooh. No, but as we go through this together, it produces a level of patience, which then produces understanding. Understanding is the ability to repeat at will, but understanding does not come without patience. And so if you have not been patient with me in teaching me how to speak your language, then I'll never understand or have the ability to repeat at will, the ability to communicate with you. See, this is heavy, I know. Apostle Paul was saying this. Keep reading verse 4. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 4. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4. Patience. I love it. Listen, love is patient and kind. Watch this. It does not envy or boast. But here's the key phrase. It is not arrogant. I started asking myself, why would he bring up arrogance while talking about love? And I didn't get the answer to this till like 2 days ago. You ready for it? Okay, I'm gonna do my best. There is nothing more arrogant than me loving you the way I think is best and not loving you the way you receive it. Let me say that again. There's nothing more arrogant than me loving you the way I want to love you and not loving you the way you receive love. There's nothing more arrogant than me thinking I know you when I don't. Well, I know the way you. I know this is what you would like. No, this is the way that I feel comfortable in doing this. Your comfortability does not have anything to do with my reception. And just because that's what's comfortable for you doesn't mean that's right or the right way that I receive love. And so because we already said I do, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone to love me the way that I receive it, not just the way you express it. Are you hearing what I'm trying to say? Gary Chapman, he's the author of The 5 Love Languages. If you have not got that book, you need to get it. But bare minimum, you need to get online and take, if you're in a relationship, even with your children or friends, whatever, and do the 5 love language test. What Gary Chapman says is that there are 5 love languages that generally people express and experience love. Express and experience. I'll talk about that in a second. But those love languages are act of service, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Everyone in this room, one of these phrases speaks to you more than the other. For some, it's physical touch. You want to be hugged and kissed. And some of y'all like, keep your lips to yourself. Go cut that grass. And some like, yo, just take a ride with me. But there's nothing more arrogant than me buying you this when all you wanted is this. There's nothing more arrogant than me saying, I'm just going to shower you with these, but ignore this. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Are you with me? Okay. Because for me to ignore your love language is for me to be self-seeking in love. For me to ignore the way you receive love is to be self-seeking in this love. Look at verse 5. Watch this. Gosh, this is so, listen, it does not, what is the it? He's talking about love. Love does not insist on its own way. Now, this word insist translates in the Greek to mean desire. Apostle Paul is making a very profound statement here about love. He's saying that when you love someone, you are void of your desires of doing it your own way. When you say you love someone, what you're saying is, I am void of insisting and desiring to love you my way. See, what the world will tell you is express your love. Because the world don't got Jesus. Because many of you are expressing your love and it's not working out for you. Because the way you express it is not always the way they experience it. So you might express your love by showering gifts, but that don't do nothing for them. You might express your love by, but I spent so much time and I give you all my, but I love acts of service. All this time is cool, but what you gonna do? See, the correct response would be express their love. Not express your love. Because more times than not, your five love language, whatever love language speaks to you, that ain't what speaks to them. And oftentimes we try to express love in the way that we receive love. And for most people, the person that you are saying you love don't receive it the way you receive it. And the frustration that comes in is because I'm spinning my wheels showing you how much I love you when really you've been showing them how much you love to love them your way. And so we're not speaking the same language. Which leads me to my second point. Is just because something is taken doesn't mean it's received. Oh, here we go. Just because it's taken doesn't mean it's received. Ain't too many people ain't too many women going to deny this Gucci bag. Love language or not. Thank you. But just because I took it doesn't mean I received it. What do you mean? I might get in trouble with that Gucci bag all on social. Oh well, so what? Listen. Just because you took it doesn't mean you received it. This revelation is not for the receiver. It's for the giver. Because oftentimes what happens is, say if I gave you that Gucci bag, if your love language is not gift giving, that was not an act of love. That was just a really nice gift. It's not an act of love. Now, it should be appreciated. It should be acknowledged. But I can't put it in the same category as an act of love if my love language isn't gift giving. And a lot of times what will happen is we'll get frustrated and mad because you didn't view that as me saying I love you. No, because I don't talk that language. It was nice. I appreciate it. It was a thoughtful act. But it didn't communicate your love for me. And if you keep doing that, expecting for me to receive love, then we speak in two different languages. And so we have to get to a place and we have to get to a point where we're understanding how to speak the same language. For Pastor B, I brought him a PS5 and I cooked for him and he just, okay, when was the last time you actually listened when he was talking to you about his dreams? And when was the last time, like when he was telling you about his dreams, you began to say, man, how can I help? How can I support? What can I do for you? And tell him, listen, you got this and can't no one stop you. This system can't stop you. You go, boy. Man, he gonna get up like, hey. Can't nobody stop me. Can't this system stop me. Go, boy. Man, in fact, let me tell you something. You tell me you go. You take this trash out. Men, Glad is cheaper than Gucci. See, we got to be able to communicate how we receive. How do we receive? Here's my third point. You get anything out of this? You have to listen to understand, not respond. Oh, here we go. Because so many of us, like we saying, PB, I'm telling you, I hear them. No, you responding to them. James 1:19, check this out. James 1:19. It says, "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger." You know what I have decided, or that I really found out? That when I listen first, like anger very rarely comes. But he says, be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Now, my mama told me, you got 2 ears and 1 what? Oh, y'all had the same mom? 2 ears and 1 mouth, meaning you should be twice as fast to listen and slower to speak. Usher said it this way. Watch this, watch this. He said, it's the simple things in life we forget. You hear her talking, but you don't hear what she said. I'm discovering that our children, our spouses, our friends, they're constantly communicating to us what they want. They're constantly communicating the way they receive love. They're constantly communicating what they desire. But arrogance gets in the way. I know what you want, but I'm going to show you what you need. I, I, I know you said this what you really want to do, but you don't know what you want to do. You don't really know. You can't never make your mind about anything. So how I know that you, and we're not speaking the same language. And then we're wondering why we aren't being able to communicate. But it says, be quick to listen. But if I'm listening, or I can only listen if someone is saying something. Be quick to listen. But I can only listen if someone is saying something. And most people will not speak up. You rather just suffer in silence, be miserable in silence, just take what's given to you, and don't communicate. Well, you communicating to somebody. Can you believe he did it again? He did it again. Well, we tell our girls, man, she don't understand, man. And we're not communicating to the right person. And we got to come to the place where we're able to sit with each other and literally just say, here's how I receive it. And have to be ego-less enough to be able to say, that's what I'll do. I remember one time, this is very transparent, very, very, very transparent. Our Shell said, when you buy me these, that's for you. And then she said, I mean, don't get me wrong. But that's for you. I don't ask for that. Dang. No. Help me with these kids. Take Ace with you when you go. And you know what I discovered, though? No, look, I discovered. Hey, Ace, you want to come with me? That girl, I should. Hey. See, we got to learn how to speak their language. How about this? There's nothing more condescending than to be in someone else's culture and not even try. There's nothing more arrogant than to go to someone else's culture and not learn the way. And oftentimes we get in these relationships and refuse to learn the culture. You just assimilate to me. And so here's my challenge for you. Are you ready? Here's my challenge. This week, children, spouses, friends, significant others, all of it. Here's my challenge to you this week. Remove I love you from your vocabulary. Why would you do that? Because I want you to show it, not say it. So I want you and your spouse and your children to figure out the 5 love languages. It's the words of affirmation. And you're going to affirm them all this week. Man, you got this. I know it's going to be a tough week. You got a tough interview coming up, but listen, no one can do this better than you. You got this thing. And even if you don't, here's what I'm going to tell you. Their fault. They lost. God got better for you. You go, boy. You go, girl. No, we're going to affirm. For some, if it's acts of service, it's on me this week, baby. Give me the top 3 things you want off of your plate. Someone said, who? We know what they love language is not. No, what is it? What's the top 3 things? Man, I got to get this laundry done. Whatever it is. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to show it. For some of you, it's quality time. Okay. Hey, man, I'm going to find us a babysitter this week. I can't find a babysitter. Okay. Kids, y'all going to bed early. I don't care what you say. And we're going to go downstairs, and we're going to Netflix if you're married and chill. For some, it's gift giving. And Glad is cheaper than Gucci. But sometimes it don't even have to be a Gucci, right? Sometimes the best gift are the sentimental ones. Sometimes the best gift is the one that, see, anybody can get this, but see, I know that our first date was at Putt Putt. And so I went to that Putt Putt store. And I know it's just a red ball, but this red ball, I want to give you this red golf ball because every time you see it, I want you to remember our first date. That's a gift. Half court, pulled up on them. Some is physical touch. So I'm going to hug you this week like I never hugged you before. Ladies, I'm going to give you a secret. Right here. Just keep on rubbing the back of my head like that. But we're going to figure out, how do we speak your language? Because if I can speak your language, we can communicate anything. Bow your heads. God, thank you so much for you being so good. Thank you for being so amazing and so awesome. Father, help us not to forget the simple things, man, of learning just how to communicate with our spouses in a way that they receive it, communicating with our children in a way that they receive it, communicating with our friends and loved ones in a way that they receive it. God, forgive us for our arrogance when trying to just show love the way that we think it's best versus showing it in a way that'll actually be received. We love you. We honor you. We praise you.